This week we're going to be talking about the history of Necromunda.
Get off him, Rob. Get off him, Rob.
Jesus Christ.
This is what it's like when they're not filming all the time. Rob won't keep his hands off him. I feel very left out.
Although Rob has got a lot cuter.
Yes, no, he really has.
A whole lot cuter.
That beard's grown in a bit though, isn't it?
Yeah, lovely beardy beard. Yeah, so this week we're going to be sat with the Professor of Necromunda, Joe, who's going to be giving us a history lesson on Necromunda. We're going to go up to where the first
Arenaeus War. Yeah, so the colonisation of Necromunda a number of times, and then the first Arenaeus War when the Imperium try and wrestle it from the control of those who have it at the time.
Oh, bye Rob.
See you later, Rob.
See you later. Right then, first things first, roll off for the dice. We'll roll for Rob even in his absence.
Alright, okay,
so if he wins,
Rob.
then he missed his turn.
Yeah, and next time he wins, if it ever happens, he doesn't get to sit there.
Well, Rob can have the diminutive dice. So
quite right.
Rob's rolled a 1.
Oh, Rob.
Yeah, silly Rob.
I rolled a 4. That's the highest I can roll. You've rolled a 6. Of course
he's 3 in a row.
That is 3 in a row. I'm beginning to feel it's fixed.
You know, I was playing with Gaz the other day at Trench Crusade. I was doing very well.
Right.
Middle of the game, I was just kind of measuring up, and he reached over and he picked up my dice and just started rolling them.
Yeah.
Just to check.
I bet.
And he's like, oh yeah, they do roll less than a 6. Trench Crusade campaign is going very well. Really enjoying that.
So how many games deep into that year?
6.
Oh.
So halfway through the campaign.
All right. Okay.
Because there's 12 scenarios out for Trench Crusade at the moment. So the campaign you play through all 12.
Yeah.
I'm 6-0.
But of course you are. Yeah. So is there a narrative storyline with these 12 inbuilt into these 12
Not
scenarios?
really, no. I'd say at the moment that's maybe one of the weaknesses.
Okay.
You could definitely write something in yourself.
Yeah.
We did play a good one, Dragon Hunt.
Okay.
For anyone who's played Trench Crusade, where the mission, in effect, there's a dragon in the middle of the board that's terrifying.
Right.
And there's 6 peasants on the board as well, and basically you have to kill the peasants before the dragon does.
Good. Well,
to score points, or you can get points for killing the dragon.
Right, that's the traditional way of starving a dragon, isn't it?
Or
kill all the peasants.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's school lesson number 1 on dragons.
Well,
kill the peasants.
What haven't we got now? Dragons.
Yeah.
What haven't we got now? Peasants. This probably linked.
Yeah, the extinction.
Yes.
Yeah, the proletariat were removed, and along with the dragons.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's gaming for me. I suppose we haven't had a chance for much of a game, have we? Recently?
No gaming for us. I've been painting the rat skins. I made the truly excellent choice halfway through painting them. So I've done the skin first of all, very happy with the skin. Then I thought, I've always been too scared to do it before. Let's try like some tattoos and war paints and stuff. So I've done these nice turquoise tattoos and war paints. I was very happy with it. Yeah, I suppose it is, but in my head, it was more, but I suppose that's what this is based on, is more like the woad markings of Celtic warriors.
Yeah.
And then I painted like browns for their trousers and what have you, and I decided they're looking quite murky. What I decided to do on black undercoated models was white fur.
How's that gone?
Poorly. It's taken it's a lot of coats, but it's not white. I think I chose
like an off grey kind of thing.
No, I think the colour is called Elfic Flesh. It's like a very white, creamy yellow colour, if that makes sense. But the plan is, do all of that, paint everything that's going to be brown and what have you, then just slather everything in a brown oil wash.
So you kind of gone lighter.
Yeah.
To bring it back down.
Yeah. And then they're going to be either the White Rat clan or the clan of the White Rat.
Okay, love it.
Because I did have in my idea, I was building up like this head cannon where I was going to have all of these like sump related gangs. I've got plans for some pirate ogrins. They look fantastic. I've got some pirate squats. I haven't got the new squat book yet.
You could have like a pirate Venator gang and have a bit of everything.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a fantastic idea. But I haven't got the new squat book, but you can choose. I don't know if they're called elses or whatever, but there's loads of different types of squats, and one of them is Sun Pirate. So I was like,
Perfect.
there we go. And in the first instance, the rat skins were going to be the green Sun Clan, but then the tattoos looked more turquoise and I abandoned that idea.
Also, it'd be the turquoise.
And I thought that's
it's
too much of a mouthful.
Yeah.
Can you really see scummers talking about turquoise? So no.
No.
So I've been painting them. I've been largely all my hobby time really has been researching the Necromunda, the history of Necromunda. That's been very, very interesting, and I'll talk about that in due course. So yeah, most of my hobby time for the moment has been pouring through books basically, rather than
like Gandalf in the Library of Ministerial.
Just like Gandalf. If I had the pointy hat on, you wouldn't be able to tell us apart. I'm exactly
you and Saurian.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, indistinguishable.
Yeah. Well, I've only been painting things with wings.
Yes.
So,
and they look fantastic. Dan won't say so, but go and look at his Instagram.
Please do.
Yeah. At I've forgotten the Fulgrim.
Yep.
In fact, I'm editing this. Bosh, now, picture, there's the Fulgrim.
Then it was Iona's Cryptborn, so little dragon with skull-faced fella.
Yes.
Then I did Crondis, who was the blue dragon.
Right, yeah.
And then today I finished off Karazai, which is the same kit as Crondis. Enough changes that they look distinct, and he is kind of an orangey red dragon, which wasn't that easy to paint. So Crondis, the other one, is kind of like sea blue, like tealy colour. So yeah, Sons of Horus blue or green. It's a blue, but you know what I mean. That, and then like some flesh tones and things to bring it highlighting up.
Okay.
If you're going to paint an orangey red dragon, where do you start? And there was no guide on Heavy Archive, so I kind of had to wing it. So I went Wild Rider red, which is probably the most orangey red, to give me a middle point.
Okay.
And then I mixed corn and dryad bark to start bringing down into the darker reds. And then I, for the orange, went with the Pro Acryl orange, mixed in with the Wild Rider up to that orange.
Okay.
And somehow, in the mess, it all kind of came together in the end. And it's not too far off the box art for not having had anything to go off.
Was that your brief?
My brief was, box art for both of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, fair enough. And I can't speak about someone else's commission. I was like, has he had any other stuff off his
there's been, I did the Black Talons, Neve Black Talon and her lot was a Warcry warband. A Spearhead, the Indrasta Celestials with the Angel Lady, Stormcast, and all of those, and then these.
Oh, she was fun to build.
Yeah, you built her, didn't you? Yeah. We got some Drakari to do next, so we'll see how they go. But yeah, part of that's kind of work hobby, and then personal hobby. I have made a start on MPO at last.
Oh, brilliant!
But it was an inauspicious start, so
you chewed the model instead.
Almost. So I was going to do that bust, wasn't I? That bronze bust, and I may still do that. But I also got a hankering to do. Maybe it's because I've been painting the dragons, but to do a lizard man. So I had some Croxigors in a box. So I thought I'll put one of those together and make a start on that. That kit to put together is an absolute nightmare. And like this is, I put together a lot of kits. That one is an absolute pain.
Oh right.
To the point where you kind of put it all together, and a lot of it is like that shell where two halves join. So you end up with gaps that you need to fill in and stuff. But then the last bit to go on was the head and the neck into a gap. It doesn't go on at all. So I ended up having to shave it back, which now means there's a lot of filling to do.
Right.
And in being a little bit impatient, I had a little bit of glue on the end of my finger.
Right.
And as I was kind of grabbing hold of the head and push it in, so for a display competition piece,
not the best.
Not ideal. So the one side of his eye got a little bit mushed, so I got very frustrated.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And
so.
I thought, well, what I'll do is I'll give him a scar. So I've kind of drilled the eye out and cut through.
Yeah.
So I'm going to prime it up and see how it looks, but it did squash my motivation
No, I can
for that particular project right out the gate.
That. I've found with building the bigger Games Workshop kits, like some of them go together like a dream, but when you know one's going to be a palaver, I don't know how to phrase it better then. I build it in my head first.
Yeah.
I don't always obey the order of play that it sets down in the book, because it doesn't. I build in, what are they called?
Sub-assemblies.
That's it, sub-assemblies, and then I try and fit it all together, and you can see where your problems are going to come. Going back, I don't know, 30 years now or so, they're metal croxigores.
With the anchovies heads,
They weren't fun.
No.
Because, like, 12, 13-year-old Joe hadn't contemplated the idea of drilling or whatever, and I was just desperately relying on the £1 a tube super glue from the local spa no, and then you couldn't, after so many failed attempts, it had this crust of super glue up around it, and you're like, how can...
You reminded me of a story from Warhammer World back in the day. So if you go back to like the early 2000s, they used to have hobby tables in what is now the shop.
Okay.
So you could sit in there and hobby. So we were probably 12 or 13, and friend James, he may watch this, I don't know, had, it was either an old Hellbrood or an old Demon Prince.
Okay.
And he'd had that exact same problem. So he had this lump of metal and super glue that just wasn't sticking together. And a member of the store staff at the time came over and was actively annoyed at this child for being unable to hobby correctly.
Wow.
So he took it off him, and this chap, while on shift in the shop, spent the next 20 minutes peeling away all the glue with a scalpel and sticking it together properly for James. So, you know, outcome was good.
Yeah.
But a passive-aggressive act against some 12-year-old boy and just trying to enjoy his toy, which, to be fair, they were an absolute bane to put together.
But you won't learn from having it done for him.
No.
I
Maybe
wonder
that's
if
why he's not in
James,
the hobby.
well, no, or maybe he's trying to stick something together now. He's got a wing stuck to his fingers as we speak. I don't know.
He's a father now, so it's probably not helpful, is it, changing nappies with a Demon Prince wing stuck on your hand?
No, you definitely do not want super glue on your hands if you're changing nappies.
No. Yeah, that's not going to go well at all. Anyway, that's probably enough intro waffle. We'll see you in a moment for the main topic.
Right, yeah.
Okay, right, on with History of Necromunda then. So,
yeah.
You're taking the lead on this bit, Joe.
Yes.
Comfy, Rob.
See, what I did to prepare, spent all week researching this, working it out and all the rest. I thought, I know what would be dead useful. I print it all out and have it all in front of me. Did that, printed it, it's on my desk at work. And as you can see, my vision isn't very good, but it's certainly not good enough to see into another building, which is now in a different town.
About 14 miles away.
Yeah. Like Specsavers, they do a lot of good work. Other glasses providers are available, but not that good. So you're going to have to deal with it while I read off my blower. But if you can't cope with that, you've got to question your resilience.
And you're in the wrong podcast, really.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, this is very much our style.
It is. Yeah. It is. Yeah, it's the will is there, the good intentions are there.
But we're going to forget something.
Yeah, when it comes to me, the execution is always lacking. Always lacking.
Just ask his wife.
Exactly so. Ask my wife, indeed. Right, so we're going to talk about History of Necromunda. When I first started looking at this, my intention was to look at the history of Hive Primus.
Okay.
And then I wanted to break it down even smaller than that and look at the individual settlements within Hive Primus to begin with and create do you remember, was it Bill Bryson maybe done like Lonely Planet books? They were big in like the 90s and the
Bill
noughties.
Bryson did a fair few travel books, Notes from a Small Island, Notes from a Big Country.
Yeah, maybe he wasn't Lonely Planet and I'm conflating the two things. What I wanted to do was create like a travel guide to Necromunda because you've got excellent services already available to you for the lore. the Underhive Lawkeepers,
Mm.
Incredible work. Some City Podcast, Some City Radio, they've done all types of deep dives into the lore. I highly recommend Oculus Imperia has got a video on the history of Necromunda, and
Arbitrary's done a few good ones as well.
yeah, so there's loads of stuff about the lore already, and it focuses more on the people and the events. But I think out of all the Games Workshop games, Necromunda is the game where the location is more of a character.
Oh yeah, definitely. You're going to have to look at the way people invest in building their own boards, and like we have our store. We traditionally play in Lowtown and the surroundings. Like we've carved out a geography for our games,
which is very real and lives in my head. And every game is reference to that. So I wanted to focus on the surroundings, but in researching that and trying to find out about each town, I thought it was important first to talk about how Necromunda came to be Necromunda. So that's where we are, and that's what we're doing. So the first records that we have of Necromunda I managed to find from a combination of the Delac House book, is that the
House of
Shadows, that one, and references in Rogue Trader, references in a book called Codex Imperialis.
So if it's referenced in Rogue Trader, that's even before like the original Necromunda game. Then it was a planet that
well. Let me read the first bit, and then I'll be able to talk about. So, rumours abound that a Xenos race known as the Sahardwines, I'm going to say that wrong a number of times and probably a number of different ways, and there will be other things that I pronounce wrong as well. Everyone's going to have to cope.
But who's to say you're wrong? They're all made up.
There'll be someone, well, actually, there'll be one of these people. So,
and if you're that person, turn off now.
Yeah. So, rumours abound that a Xenos race known as the Sahardwines or the Pisceans were the first to inhabit Necromunda, which was then a planet of vast oceans. Sahardwine are an amphibious Xenos race that possess gills, have an erect posture, they're 4 webbed limbs and a long finned tail. Now, I found a picture of Sahardwine or Piscean warrior, the term seems to be interchangeable, model that I believe is from the Rogue Trader era, and Bosch, through the medium of technology, there you are, you can see that picture now.
I'll have to just headcanon.
Oh no, I can show you, bear with me.
But Piscean, there is a Piscean spectre in Necromunda.
Wait, bro.
I'm tying things together.
We're getting to it. So, there we go. So the Rogue Trader model.
So I'll describe this for the audio listeners. If you imagine an eel in a jumpsuit with a proto-bolt rifle, wearing some kinky over-the-elbow leather gloves, you're not far off.
Yeah. Bear in mind, they can all see this. So rate Dan's description.
Yeah.
Perhaps like for I nearly said blind viewers then, but that seems insulting, doesn't it?
Visually impaired.
For the visually impaired, perhaps you just provided a good service. Now, they're basically described as being like shark-like creatures, but I think whoever sculpted this model had only ever heard about sharks as a rumour. They'd never seen it themselves.
Not an Australian then.
No. So, that's what they look like. That's the first bit. And then, as I said, there's information about them in the Codex Imperialis, and in there it said the Sahardwine controlled several worlds in the Ultima Segmentum. They were both hostile and powerful, and have technology roughly equivalent to that of the Imperium. A typical Piscean warrior is armed with a bolt gun analogue, like you said, and a power sword. The Imperium fought a long war against the Sahardwine, but were unable to eradicate them. This menace could only be contained, and what the Imperium did in the first instance was set up shipping blockades around the planets that the Sahardwine inhabited, and they decided that's enough. We'll just keep them penned in.
So they've nabooed them.
Yeah, but every now and again, a ship had managed to slip past the blockade, and that is how the Sahadwins have managed to survive up until the 41st millennium. There is records in the 41st millennium of a white scar whose name I might have wrote down, but I didn't. He spent a year living and fighting on a Sahadwin-owned planet, and during the Great Crusade, the Space Wolves were said to have lain waste to the planets controlled by the Sahadwins. So they've carried on being mentioned since Rogue Trader times.
Yeah, they've been a persistent Xenos race.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there any Sahadwin sounds a lot like sardine?
Exactly.
As well.
Yeah, and
It's one of those old Monkai early Games Workshop, not quite a puppet.
Yeah, like the Catholic religion instead of Catholic and all of that. Yes. I personally think when they were making the game in the early days, they can't have envisioned the beast that it would become and the depth of the lore. And there's so many, like Gazgul and all that, there's so many weird little...
Well, like Magurk Thraka is Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah, there's so many, and like Orc Knobs are called Orc Knobs because their behaviour is modelled on the beer boy louts that were knobheads, and that's why they called them knobs. Is one thing that I've been told.
It makes perfect sense.
It does.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe Sahadwin's a like a pun on sardines, but maybe it isn't the way I'm saying it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You could be getting it wrong.
Maybe,
I like to think it is.
Maybe like Rick Presley or Jervis Johnson sat watching this now. I'm sure they're tuned in.
Yeah.
Saying, listen to this dickhead. He can't say nothing properly.
Well, Jervis is retired, so surely he's watching this now.
Is he retired?
He retired from Games Workshop because there was a whole White Dwarf, basically about his career, and that must have been 3 years ago.
Yeah, but I think he's still doing game stuff. I'm sure I've seen that he's involved in a skirmish game of some form, like recently.
Yeah. Okay.
So where we stand, Necromunda is like a watery planet, and it's controlled by amphibious sharkmen. When they went off planet, apparently they wore like face masks with pipes attached to them that went to tubs of their seawater on their back so they could continue to breathe wherever there was. Yeah. In my head, it's the plastic bottles from water fountains that you get at work.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
So they got one of them,
strap one of those on,
and they put a hose on the top,
yeah,
and then put a funnel on the end of that, shove that on their shark beak,
yeah,
bosh, sorted. Right.
And away you go.
Yeah.
Intergalactic exploration.
When humans first tried to colonise we don't know what it was called then, their planet, but they first tried to colonise the planet, the Sahadwin just retreated to the seas at first, and then there was a great deal of fighting between them, but neither side could get any supremacy.
Yeah.
They just battled and battled and battled. But the humans, who presumably are the Irenaeus continuity.
So in the timeline, is this kind of pre-Great Crusade still?
Yes.
This is one of the like proto-starfaring human races.
There's no timings on when the Sahadwin took over the planet. We just have to take it for granted that they were in control.
That's our earliest historical point.
Yeah, nothing before that. Yeah. And the Irenaeus continuity, that can be traced back to 15,000 years before the current day of Necromunda.
Okay.
Yeah. So they arrived, and as I'll go on to describe later, they were quite an industry-based race, and their industry polluted all the seas, which is something we're very conscious of now, and it forced all of the Sahadwin more and more into the core of the planet, into like underground lakes and stuff like we have on our planet. They had to retreat from the surface, and they went down there. So all the seas receded, the shark people went into the inner planet, and then humans was living on the outside of the planet, and these shark people are still in the middle of it. as Dan mentioned earlier, the Piscean Spectre, I think I'm correct in
The
saying.
murder squid.
Yeah, the murder squid.
If you play Necromunda, you've been chopped up by one of these, most likely.
I think at base level, with no like modifications to it, it's one of the most lethal hand-to-hand combat.
That phase blade thing it has.
Yeah, and all its little whippy ends are paired, so you get shed loads of attacks that can't be saved. It's just a.
It's for me having phase both that and the Goliath Zerker.
Yeah.
They're more or less equivalent because with the Goliath you get more attacks.
Yeah.
It always feels like you roll about 20 dice when that thing charges.
No, 9.
Oh well.
You always exaggerate.
Yeah, but yeah, the squid is terrifying.
The only thing with the squid is it can be pinned. It's only toughness 3.
Yeah.
But it's psychic as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I gave my attack squid, this Piscean Spectre, a skill where I could even make people like sit down.
It was the sit down shut up spell, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I don't know if that was Big Ed.
Yeah, but then wasn't it if there was something about if they were still down they could then be killed?
No, that's Big Ed.
Yeah.
But the Piscean Spectre, anyway, I gave him a thing where I could pin people and then he just charged in and slapped them up with his squid hands. Perfect. If you notice that model, and fair use, I can put a picture of, I can put mine up, it can't do nothing. There's a brain on the back of it.
Yeah.
What's that brain?
Is that the Piscean, is that the sardine brain?
It is. It is. And if you remember back to the image that we showed of the Sahadwin, I think their brains must be in their stomach because there isn't enough space for that brain in their head.
This is a very thin head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless they've got some kind of weird compression going on.
Yeah.
Like TARDIS head.
Mm.
I'm not going to talk too much about the links between the Delac, Delacue, Delacroix.
It's Delac.
It is Delac.
Yeah.
It is Delac.
Yeah.
I'm not having an Australian tell me how to pronounce anything.
It's Delac.
Because I want to talk about that another time. I really want to go deep into that. But basically, these Sahadwin are the old ones that the Delac are hearing the whispers of, and I believe they're responsible for pulling the planet of Somnos closer to Necromunda, which caused the psychic awakening that led to House Delac.
So what you're saying is Necromunda has a secret cabal of powerful beings pulling all of the strings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only, unlike Earth.
Nothing like Earth.
Yeah, unlike Earth, nothing. Well, it is a bit like Earth.
Do they live on an island?
Well, there's no talk about them being cannibals or nonces.
So it's better.
Yeah.
It's a nicer planet than ours.
It is a nicer planet than ours. So yeah, that's the Sahadwin, and then, as I said, the first humans arrive on the planet, which we can only assume is the Arenaeus continuity. And I'll talk about them now. There's no record of any other humans before that. They come to the planet, call it Arenaeus Prime. The Arenaeus continuity was a confederation of at least 6 or 7 different star systems.
Okay.
With Arenaeus Prime, which is Necromunda, being chief amongst those. They're a highly industrial race, and Necromunda, or Arenaeus Prime, wouldn't have looked very different to what it does now, except it wasn't like a blasted ash hellscape. They still had oceans, and I'll explain how Necromunda came to be that blasted hellscape. That's all linked, but they were called, all the hives that we see, Hive Primus and what have you, they are built on the footprints and using the Iron Towers, as they were called, which were the buildings that I'm trying to find the words from now. They had a different title. The Iron Lords. There we go. They were the buildings. The Iron Lords.
Is that what Ozzy's meant to be? Ozymandias.
Yeah. They're the iron that they ruled from. So all Hive Primus is built on that.
Small tangent. But you remember it was either the first or the second Gaunt book, they come across the Men of Iron.
Yes.
In that. Are they the same? Are they Aranæans too, potentially?
It's a very interesting idea. I did think that, but I don't believe so. I think the men of this, the men of that, the men of because there were different metallic men, as it were.
We've got the Iron Lords and the Men of Iron.
But I believe though the men of they're the AI robots.
Okay.
That we learn. I can't remember whatever the Butlerian Jihad was called in Warhammer 40,000, where we decided we didn't want any more AI.
Yeah.
They're the ones that were defeated.
Ousted.
And I think the Beatbot robot from Stone Fortress.
Yes.
I think he might be.
Okay.
He's a man of something.
Yes. Yeah. He is.
I think he might be a man.
And he looks quite different to Ozymandias.
I think. Yeah, but like we can say maybe the Iron Lords are the Men of Iron, but maybe the Iron Warriors, is that no? What's the Space Marine Legion?
There's Iron Warriors and the Iron Hands.
Yeah. Well, are they Men of Iron?
No. Yeah.
Yeah. You can't just.
There's only so many metals.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, one thing I did notice. This is a very weird tangent.
We're on tangent of a tangent now. Tangent.
In the hobby, lots of stuff gets focused on certain words. Like in this instance, it's iron. I can think of like lots of times like the skull of this, the skull of Golgotha, and all types of things. No one ever talks about like the iron hip, for example.
No.
The iron knee joint. It's always skull. We focus on what.
Yeah.
If we had to build a body out of all different names referenced in different 40k lore, it'd be very top heavy.
Oh yeah.
There'd be lots of heads. Yeah, lots of skulls.
Blood. You got all the blood in the world.
Yeah, just loads of skulls covered in
some
blood.
Hands.
Got some
hands and fists.
Yeah, exactly. We've got no arms though. So the hands are just coming out the edge at this point, covered in blood.
No. Yeah.
Exactly. I don't think they thought this through.
No.
Right.
Again, rewind the tangents. Back to the main track.
So, I've included in there a word that I knew I was going to struggle saying because I thought, why not have a bit of fun? The heart of the Empire was Aranæus Prime. Before the Aranæus War, Aranæus Prime was not an ash-covered wasteland. It was a thriving world city, or Ecumenopolis. Look at that first try. I know. It'd be very impressive if I knew what it meant.
Yeah.
And while heavily industrialised, it started to function in atmosphere and oceans before they were turned into chemical sludge ponds by millennia of pollution. I've talked about how it was built in it. The continuity remained unified during the Age of Strife, thanks to a network of warp gates of unknown origin that were on the planets that they controlled. These will be important in the near future. These allowed for near instantaneous travel, even when warp storms isolate the rest of humanity.
So that immediately makes me think of the webway more than warp travel.
Exactly, so that's where my mind went first. But I will discuss them, but the end of what I'll talk about in this story suggests it might be a different race altogether.
Oh.
But there we go. So, one other thing, Aranæus Prime is mentioned in the lore of the Van Saar.
Really?
Yes. So, in the 25th millennium, before Great Night and the Age of Strife, in the first wave of human exploration from our birth world, fleets and fleets and fleets of explorator class warships and what have you were sent out. Different planets were colonised. There were records, and Van Saar have records that one of these colony ships was sent to Aranæus Prime.
Okay. So it was called Aranæus Prime. That
I can't be responsible.
No, This is the random spaghetti of 40k lore.
Yeah.
Because at that point, should it be Sardine land still?
Perhaps so.
Sardinia.
Perhaps so.
Yeah.
Maybe the Aranæus people arrived, it was the shark people were calling it Aranæus, and they were like, no, I like that name.
Yeah, we're the Aranæans now.
Yeah, exactly. So, whatever, what we'll say is an Explorator class ship was sent to the planet that it subsequently became known as Aranæus Prime. And I've covered, we'll just pretend I didn't have that slip up.
Yeah.
But it got swallowed by the warp and chewed by the warp for 10,000 years.
Okay.
Then, in the 35th millennium, the warp spat it back out again, and that ship crash landed on Necromunda, Aranæus Prime, the planet formerly known as Aranæus Prime, Ian, whatever you want to call it, it crash landed there.
Okay.
Now, that ship was full of high-end technology. As already discussed, the Aranæus people, very technological, and the plan was for Aranæus Prime, whatever it was called then, to become a technological centre.
Yeah.
They wanted that to be one of the most advanced technological places. So this ship got sent out full of techno people who knew what they was doing, loads of technological wonders on it, including an STC.
Okay.
Now, as I said, got chewed up by the warp for 10,000 years. Might have felt like it was only in there for 15 minutes. We don't know.
No.
Yeah. They get spat back out. The ship crash lands on Necromunda, whatever you ever want to call it. Now, there are two versions of this in the lore. Either the people who became House Van Sar were the survivors of this crash, or they were the first scavengers who came to this ship and stripped it of what they could. And the reason they're called House Van Sar is the ship was called Van Sar. Interestingly, the captain of that ship was also called Van Sar.
Which would make sense if it was like a house. He would be the
no, I think everything on that ship was called Van Sar. So the captain would shout out, "Excuse me, Van Sar, can you just pass me the Van Sar? No, I've left it in the Van Sar. I'm going to have to go and get it." All right then, you go and get it. We'll take the Van Sar. It'll be quicker. And
it's a noun fuckery.
Yeah. So everything's called Van Sar. As a result of talking about this, we're both now called. Well, I'm Van Sar. This is Dan Sar. And then and the ship had Van Sar written on the side. So either the people knew that and came out, "No, we're as Van Sar," or the scavengers turned up and said, "What a fancy name."
Yeah. I prefer option 2, if I'm honest.
See, I sort of like the idea that they are a continuation of a pre-imperial humanity.
Just lost in time now.
Yeah. Now, on another tangent, one thing that's wildly annoyed me about this story is, think about the lengths we are told that the Imperium goes to recover STCs from alien races or unclaimed planets. And then they've got a planet under their control. No, keep your STC. We're not bothered. Keep your STC.
Do we know what the STC was for?
No, but it's been the source of wealth for the Van Sar since their creation. They're the wealthiest house on the planet, on Necromunda, and when you consider their propensity for laser-based weapon systems, it's probably got something to do with that. But downside to it, it does give them all cancer.
Yeah. They might be rich, but they're sickly. Yeah.
So swings and roundabouts. But I thought that was interesting that there's
just an STC sat there without the admin getting their fingers on it.
Yeah, which I think is mad, especially when you consider the Imperial presence on Necromunda.
There's an Imperial fist, isn't it? Stronghold there.
Yeah, is that the Eyrie? I think that's called. And there's a Sisters of Silence. Base on there. I don't know what that's called. You've got the Adeptus Arbites in the. I probably said that wrong. You got the Enforcers.
Is it the Arbites or the Arbites?
Could be any of it. Might be all of them. I just I get why in the world of Necromunda, in the enclosed world of Necromunda, to set the Van Sar apart and to make them the most technologically advanced faction function.
Yeah, it has to have a reason. There has to be a MacGuffin somewhere.
But in the greater scheme of things, it doesn't fit to me. Or, and what I'm very much hoping, and I think would be a fantastic campaign, is for the Imperium to finally catch wind of all of this and go, no, we're not having that. And then they come down and ask Van Sar like a ton of bricks.
Well, thank God Van Sar need snubbing. Yeah. I disagree with a proliferation of heavy weaponry in the game.
Yeah.
And they are probably the serial offender.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plasma cannons have no place in gang warfare.
No, and the armoured body glove.
Yeah.
Straight off the bat. Unpaid for armour. I think gangs that start with an enhanced ballistic skill on a shooty gang don't need free armour.
No, not really.
No.
Yeah, it's an extra leg up.
Yeah.
They might have cancer, but they're getting a lot of toys for the money.
So, that's where we're up to at the moment. What we know about the planet is it was ruled by shark people. Humans have landed on the planet, said, no, you get in the core, dirty shark people. Stop flapping your fins at us. Sent them into the core, and we fucked up the planet, as we will, polluted it all, and we've built all over it. So it's a hive planet. These Arenaeus people built all over it. It's a hive planet now. And at this point...
Must be coming up towards the Great Crusade then.
Well, here we are, yeah. So... The first contact between the Imperium and the Arenaeus continuity first came about through mischance. A squadron of warships returning to Terra from the Gehennial prosecution in the late 30th millennium was forced out of the warp by intense storms. They re-entered real space in one of the continuity's peripheral systems, and before the Imperial ships could bounce back, Bosch Arenaeus ships all around them with, and I've wrote it down here because I quite like the phrasing, cybernetically grafted warriors, which is very cool. Yeah. And I think when you look at Ozzy, not saying that name,
that fella,
you can see how his foot soldiers might
he's obviously the most gilded HQ, but you can see how.
Even the bellboys that you don't like their acts of, but I do like.
The hotel workers.
Yeah, you sort of see, and in that book, the Primus in the campaign, you can make your gang a Ranthian and have better weapons and stuff like that.
I suppose you said they're a technological race. Yeah. They're not just going to Imperial Guard it and send out human soldiers. They're going to have a bit more Skitarii, almost, I imagine.
Yes. Yeah. So the ships that were coming back from the Gehennial prosecution, another tangent, that's the first time I've seen Gehenna referenced.
Well, Gehenna's gold as a paint, isn't it?
Yes, and in real world, it's something it's a name from the Bible, but I don't know enough to speak about that with confidence. A part of my brain now is telling me it's something to do with Armageddon.
Okay.
But stone memory, I could be chatting shit. So these ships, they're coming back from Beast and the Gehennans, and then there's Warp Storm. Bosch, get out the warp. The warp says the Imperials, they're out the warp. They're like, oh shit, we better get back in. We're miles from home. Oh no, there's all these robot ships around us. They board the Imperial ships, overwhelm them.
So we're guessing it's just Imperial Navy, not some Legion fleet.
Yeah, and in the process of being overwhelmed, the astropaths on board think, nice shit, we've had it now. Yeah. And then they send out like, help us, please. That's how I imagine it to be. Oh no!
The warp Morse code.
Yeah, exactly. No, we're fucked. That type of thing. And those plaintive cries bounce their way back to Terra.
Okay.
And the Eye Lords and Terra go, no, we can't have that. Yeah. Can't have that. And they send an envoy fleet to the Arenaeus continuity to basically say, we represent the Emperor of Mankind, you will swear fealty. Yeah.
Subjugate.
Now, I can't remember which Austin Powers film this is, but Do you remember Dr. No? I'm probably going to wildly misquote. Not Dr. No, Dr. Evil, saying, I think he's talking to his son, Scotty. How about no, Scotty? How about no? Well, this is what the Irenaeus people said. Swear fealty to you. How about no?
Yeah.
We will allow the Imperium to become, and I wrote down the word now,
Vassal.
Tributary. And so they allowed the envoy fleet to return, sent them back and said, no, but your Imperium can be a tributary of the...
so they were saying, basically, we're not going to be your bitches, you're going to be ours.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they sent the fleet back. It's a cheerio fleet. Off you go. Go back and tell your boss. And they sail back. Tell Big E, and he goes, well, I'm not having this.
Yeah.
So he speaks to a gentleman called Hashin Yonad, which I definitely have said wrong, and he is the commander.
Hash of it.
Perfect. And he is the commander of the 39th household of Inuit. He is a
we've got a fist.
He's an imperial fist. This is how the imperial fists come to be involved with the planet.
I'm a big fan of the fists.
Hashin Yonad is a very interesting man.
All imperial fists are.
That's not true. He mentored Alexis Pollux.
Okay.
And subsequent to this, after this, in the Heresy, was quite heavily involved in the battle on Isfahan 3.
Okay.
But so that's a cool little
interesting fella. Yeah. Not quite Camber Diaz, but
no,
he's up there.
And he says, right, we're going to give it to these pricks. What I need is 20,000 Imperial Fists.
Okay.
1 million Imperial Guard.
Yeah.
And it just says elements of the Mechanicus. So I don't know.
Elements, yeah.
I don't know. Might have been a spanner.
Also Ram.
Might have been a Titan.
Yeah.
They board hundreds of ships, fly their way to the Irenaeus continuity.
A good fisting ensues.
Indeed, it does. It only takes them a day. Takes them a day to knock out all of the.
If you've got bolters constantly hitting on twos.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Takes them a day to wipe out all like the peripheral planets of the continuity and knock down the warp gates there on all their planets. That's very important. And they trap the Irenaean people just on Irenaeus Prime. And the Irenaeans, they see what's up and they're like, oh no, we're cooked here, boys, we're done. We're done. Look at me saying we're cooked like I'm 20 something. I'm a 42-year-old man.
Are the Piscean people still just
they're just
enjoying their retreat?
Yeah, they're just paddling. They're in their paddling pools in the middle.
They've got a spa down
whispering stuff like, you're done for, you're done for. And the Irenaeus continuity, they, what's the word? Submit. There's a different word that I'm looking for when you admit defeat. I can't think of it. Anyway, they give up. They push
surrender.
Yes.
Yeah.
But on the day that they surrender and the Imperials were like, gun fingers, we've done this. I don't know what noise a warp gate, mate. Is that what you? Oh, like Stargate.
Yeah.
I had like that. But out of them, come these sleek chrome spaceships wreathed in flame.
What?
There's all types of ideas of what they could be.
Well, it's not Eldar then, because they're famously unflaming.
There's very strong suspicions that it was Necrons.
Okay.
And then, so there were two Irenaeus wars. The first Irenaeus war was the fists and the guards and what have you battering the humans of Irenaeus Prime and taking over it. Them surrendering marked the end of the first Irenaeus war, and then immediately, no break, the second Irenaeus war starts.
So it's like 1066.
Exactly.
Vikings
so.
and
Because these, I'm sure I read, again, stone of memory, but they didn't use these words, but some of the craft were croissant shaped. So it really strongly points.
The death croissant is Necronic.
And then that's where we'll leave history of Necromunda,
Oh.
because the next bit is going to talk about the Second Arrhenius War, how that was resolved, and what the consequences of that resolution were for the planet.
And then we suppose we're into around about the scouring at that stage, aren't we? Yeah.
And then everything bubbles along for a bit.
Yeah.
Then there's an orc invasion.
Yeah.
You've got the rise of Helm War, don't know how to say it.
That one.
And then modern day Necromunda, but that will save that because that's, even though I just rushed through it, there's loads to say about that.
It's very interesting, and I suppose this isn't very obvious lore. Like you don't, unless you dig for this.
Yeah, I think one of the good things and bad things about Necromunda is everything is all the lore is so dispersed because there's such a library of books.
Yeah.
Everything's so dispersed. You could go through the game being ignorant of so much of the lore.
Yeah.
It's only taking a holistic view of it all that you can slot everything into.
Almost the archaeological layers of everything sliding together.
And also there's so much that contradicts.
Well, it's the old unreliable narrator thing as well. That's always Games Workshop's get out of jail card.
It's just shit writing.
I suppose if you wrote one bit in 1989, you can probably be forgiven.
Oh yeah. This is the other thing as well, because I've been playing Necromunda since like original 95 Necromunda, and while there are similarities with the lore to that, it's different now. Yeah. And you have different protagonists fulfilling the roles of those that were fulfilled in 95. I'm not old or lucky enough to have played Confrontation. Yeah. But like the brats have largely disappeared. And I was very much hoping when Secundus came about and they started they were talking about bringing the Spirers back. Now the brats are all the rich boys and girls who aren't in the position of primacy in their families, so they don't get given the Spira suit. So it's just lots of rich boys, all the gear,
It's the grammar school lot.
Yes, all the gear, no idea, in flouncy outfits. Yeah. And what I wanted, instead of these rock hard gangs of Spirers, what I'd have liked is a Spira with loads of shit toff.
All of his buddies.
Yeah.
John T and Monty.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I thought that would be an interesting position to go down. And there's something nostalgic and romantic about the aesthetic of the brats that I'd like to see. I'd like to see return.
You've definitely given me a gang idea there.
Oh right, okay. Yeah. No, we don't want to step. I've thought about gang, but we can't say that phrase because we're stepping on the Undrive Law Keepers, who I've got nothing but respect for. So you've got a collective notion.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, you're happy to call your history lesson there then?
Oh yeah, that's it. Classes out, yeah.
Right, so now we've had the main section, we're going to go into the extra waffly bit.
Yeah, it's like dessert.
Yeah. Well, let's not talk about food because we had the whole lettuce gate last week, didn't we?
I've got another one of those to talk about. Not more jizzy lettuce, but another god thing to talk
amazing.
About as
well.
Yeah.
Right, for this episode?
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that.
Stored in my head.
Yeah.
So I'm all ready, bro.
Yeah, you're all ready to go.
Yeah, primed.
But we also thought we'd do a little bit of topical stuff, didn't we? It's the Winter Olympics right now.
Started joking. I thought
topical.
Now we can list out all the paedophilic one. You know what I did think though? This is a wild tangent. You think about all of the horrors that are committed and glorified in lore in Warhammer 40,000. One thing that they've absolutely stayed, it's absolutely fine to skin someone, to blow up a whole planet, kill billions. They're very happy to talk about that, but there's absolutely no mention of not just Mansory, of like really any sexual misconduct, but barring a few like Emperor's children and what have you.
Yeah, I mean,
but like our Space Marines, like Ken dolls. But
then never mentioned, is it?
But then penetrating digitally is a crime. They've got, I imagine they've got quite girthy fingers. It wouldn't be fun. Anyway,
cancelled.
So done the Winter Olympics, Primark edition. It will not be as controversial as the actual Winter Olympics.
Yeah, there's been a lot of
which have been brilliant. Did you see the curling?
Oh my
With
lord!
the
I love
Canadian
that
guy
they
offering
set up
them
the
out.
camera to catch him.
Yeah.
As if the one sport in the world you wouldn't think there'd be a fist fight in, curling.
No.
Although sports on ice hockey's known for a good scrap.
Well,
So maybe there's something about having cold toes
yeah.
makes you want to have a
Mate,
fight.
I'm livid.
Yeah.
When my toes are cold,
Yeah.
I'm just drop kicking people. I don't care.
Everybody was kung fu fighting.
Yeah, so you've had that. Another thing that I saw is in the Olympic Village, they've gone through like 10,000 contacts in like 3 days.
Yeah.
All I'm thinking is loads of water bombs. That's what's been going on. That's what I'd like. That's what I'd like to think.
Just let them. Let all the superhumans procreate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Think how many kids who are good at tobogganing we could have as a result of
The
this.
snow dome would be chocker.
Oh, it would. But what we've done is, I say we,
You.
no, me and AI. Because I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I can think of 18 events. I did my best, but I'm a limited boy. I'm cognitively limited.
Is that one of your DJ names?
No,
It's a
sadly.
good name, limited boy.
It's
That's
in my
it.
signature at work.
Yeah.
It's like I like to let people know straight off the bat.
He, him, limited boy.
Yeah, I don't have any anyway. So AI's helped me with this, and in helping me, it's set me at ease with the future of mankind.
Really?
Yeah, because I gave very clear instructions and it disobeyed them.
Of course.
If it can't even follow my very clear instructions, you're not taking over the world, dickhead computers. So, the first one, it was confident, it went in strong, the first one.
I actually can't wait for the Clanker Wars.
Wow.
A little bit me. I want to drop kick a toaster. That's.
You know they're listening to you right now.
Oh
bro.
yeah, come at me.
No, this is why I vape.
Yeah.
This is why I vape, because there's like circuitry in a vape, and then when the robots come in and take over, and they'll go, oh no, that Joe's alright, he sucks us off. Do you know what I mean?
He's been noshing off C3PO for years.
Yeah, exactly. Let's leave him be. Then I'll be there with I've got lychee ice flavour at the minute, puffing away on that, dead happy.
You're just an android rent boy.
Yeah, watching all you meat sacks get hacked apart. But that's quite. Anyway, so it went first with Jagatai Khan.
Okay.
Which would you give it? Let's see if we can get correlation.
He's a speed man. He's a rider.
Yeah.
I would stick him on the luge.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Our computer friend went for speed skating. It says the Warhawk is defined by speed and momentum. He would likely dominate the 500 metre or 1,000 metre sprint. I can't argue with that logic.
I can't argue with the logic.
He probably would.
He's not fast in and of himself. He's fast because of the things that he rides.
Yeah, this is why we're superior to robots. Write in if you think differently.
No,
if you'd prefer to see an actual toaster here instead of me,
you can go and fetch it.
Just say so. We can just stop Rob coming back. We can just put an air fryer there.
Yeah.
Then Lehman Russ.
Okay. Well, if we're saying curling's all about having a scrap, then Lehman Russ is a curler.
Interesting. It went for the other ice-based game that you were talking about.
Ice hockey.
Yeah, because there's loads of fisticuffs.
He's the enforcer.
I used to have Blades of Ice on the NES, which was a sick ice hockey game.
Yeah.
It was genuinely a good ice hockey game, but if you bashed into an opposing player 3 times, the shit pixel NES characters would take off their gloves and have a box into your head. They're hammering A and B, bosh, 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 bosh. One of you would fall over. Strangely, the one that fell was then sin binned. But if you won the fight, you were fine.
Really? That's not the real rules of it.
But it was an important life lesson for me.
Win the fight.
Yeah. So anytime I've been attacked by an ice hockey player, I've always ended up in the sin bin, and this is why.
Yeah, see, I would see Russ as a definite enforcer, but he wouldn't be a skilled player. That would be like a Sanguinius or something.
Right, well. Yeah. Rogel Dawn.
They don't have. I don't know, building a snow fort? I don't know.
That's not an Olympic event.
Isn't it?
No, Olympic igloo building.
I'd dominate that.
No, they've given him curling. On the basis that the Praetorian Terror is all about precision, calculated strategy, and holding the line.
Yeah.
And when you watch, like, it seems to me this Winter Olympics, every time I put the TV on, they're curling again. It's always curling. I love it, don't get me wrong, but it's on a lot, right?
Last Winter Olympics, I was working in an office still, and Britain were doing very well in the curling. I remember my boss at the time stopping everything because he wanted to watch the curling final.
Fantastic.
We all had to go to the conference room and watch the curling.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I didn't realise all the curling stones are mined from the same
island off Scotland.
Man.
Yeah, because it's very heat resistant, is it?
But it can't be. That can't be forever.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? What's going to happen when the islands, when they grind it down to a nub, because they've used the whole island as curling.
The island of nub.
Yeah. What's going to happen from that point?
We had a joke about how heavy is the Earth a little while ago, and I think there's probably quite a lot more island than you're anticipating.
Well, so you think they'll dig down?
Yeah.
Is that still the island then?
Or is it a bit like Trigger's broom? Like,
Yeah.
How far? Yeah. At what point does it stop being?
So, anyway, in my eyes, curling's a time-limited sport.
Yeah.
Its day's coming. Eventually, there'll be, and imagine how valuable remaining curling
Oh my
stones are going
gosh,
to
yeah,
be.
it's going to be a sport of the elites.
But it will change. There'll be no more bashing your stone into someone else's to move it. There'll be, in fact, that stone's worth 80 grand. I'm not smacking it into anything.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Perturabo.
No.
A lot of your biases are showing immediately.
Dickhead.
Yeah.
I would go for, I don't know, something like cross-country skiing, something that just takes you just need to be belligerent and keep going.
Well, they've said biathlon, known for his tactical genius and Lord of Iron Grind, which I'm not sure anyone's ever said. Perturabo's really got that Lord of Iron Grind.
He's a good grinder.
Yeah. He'd excel at the endurance of cross-country skiing combined with the cold mechanical precision of rifle shooting.
I was about halfway there then.
Yeah. Sanguinius.
Oh Lord. So if Russ was the hockey player, I think I've already half answered this. Russ is the enforcer, Sanguinius is the Gretzky. I think he would make an exceptional ice hockey player. He would do good at everything.
He would.
No.
Oh,
I've thought of it. Ski jump.
Yes, that's what they've said as well.
Yeah.
You're a robot, confirmed. But yeah, climb down. Why don't that look terrifying? When you get the camera angle from the top.
There's a lot of sports that I think, how would you figure out you're good at that? And
we know we've had this conversation at home and we've researched that. Team GB, they did in 2019, I don't know if they've done subsequent ones, but Find Your Gold event.
Okay.
And there you go, and you get to have a go at all of these different
things. I have no
things.
fear, I'm going to fling myself off that.
And with the bobsled, especially the team ones, very often people who joined to do athletics and sprinting, who wouldn't make the cut for that, are then repurposed as the pushers, not the steerers in the bobsled.
So they're like the feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme fellas.
But yeah, you do think like how do you learn you was good at that?
I've watched Eddie the Eagle, fantastic film.
Yeah, I've seen bits of it.
And I know there's like different sizes of jumps. Yeah. Even the little one.
That's too much.
No, I mean, I'm not like past it, but I'm 34. My knees, there's no way I'm jumping off of there now.
No.
I think I just
there's no way I'm wearing lycra. No one deserves that. To quote Mike Wozniak, no one needs to see my bum in lycra. It's like a casserole down there.
Taskmaster, was it Phil Wang who wore the
yellow jumpsuit?
And you just literally spent the entire season with his cock on show.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. I normally don't enjoy comedians who dress funny to be funny. Yeah. But that was funny.
That was funny.
Through. Yeah. Fulgrim.
Okay. We need figure skating. He's a show off.
Oh, you're on it.
Am I?
Yeah. Yeah.
Again?
Yeah.
Oh.
The Phoenician is obsessed with perfection and aesthetic mastery. He wouldn't just win, he'd have the most dazzling costume on the ice, so
Yeah.
you can't argue with that either.
Do you know why Torvill and Dean started their routine on their knees?
No.
So, the song that they wanted to dance to was slightly too long for the prescribed length of time that the performance was allowed to last.
Okay.
The rules also stated that the clock started once your skates touched the ice. So they started on their knees to buy themselves about 15 seconds to last the whole length of the song.
It's interesting. Maybe then, because Rachel and I were watching the ice dance, and I don't know what a few nights ago, this woman, it was like couples dancing, this woman started on her head. And Rachel's like, why has she done that?
Brain freeze.
Well, no, I immediately said, perhaps she's got a rash on her scalp, and they're just cooling that down so she can perform without the distraction, like itching your head while you're doing the spins.
Made my head itch when you said that.
But maybe it was the what's it's on the ice, the blades on the ice business.
Maybe.
And they need it longer, so we'll start her upside down.
Yeah.
Right. Angron.
Oh, what's the most destructive and angry of the Winter Olympic sports?
When I
it's
first
a
read
finessey competition.
When I first read their answer, I was like, oh, I don't know about that. And then I've since watched the event they've said, and I've been like, oh, no, you're right, yeah.
I'm drawing a bit of a blank on Angron because if it was ordinary Olympics, I'd go something like wrestling.
Yeah.
But there isn't, what is that, ice wrestling?
No, there's short track speed skating, you know, when they have two of them just going around the track.
Just furious.
And one takes the outside, one takes the inside, and then like Scale Electrics, there's a crossover point. Very often there's elbow and a barge.
Yeah.
So they've given
that's just a light Tuesday morning for Angron.
Oh yeah, no, he'd be deceptive. Well, it said it's high speed, eye contact, and notoriously aggressive. The Avatar of Fury would probably get disqualified, but it'd be a hell of a race. And I can't argue with that.
Yeah.
Mortarian.
He'd be in the Olympic Village once the condoms have run out, spreading his goodness.
No, he's doing cross-country skiing.
What, with Perturabo?
No, Perturabo is doing the biathlon, which is the skiing and the shooting. Mortarian's just doing because he's good at slow, inevitable advance through toxic and grueling conditions.
Just keep on going.
So he can take snow.
Yeah.
And it'll be his natural habitat. Reboot's Gilliman.
So we want something that's highly strategic, takes a lot of organisation, probably a team sport because he's not the most individually powerful, but he excels at organising others.
Yeah,
it's kind of my view of him.
Well,
so team sports in the Olympics, the Winter Olympics. We already had ice hockey taken.
Yeah,
but he's more of. I see Reboot as more of like a coach than a player.
I see.
What's the robot gone for?
Nordic combined, and I will explain
I don't know
why.
what that is.
This event requires mastery of two completely different disciplines: ski jumping and cross country.
Okay, so you have to do the Eddie the Eagle thing, and then
zip off and go for a ski afterwards.
Oh wow, that sounds really difficult.
But this might be another thing that ChatGPT has invented.
It's ChatGPT, that one.
Yeah, exactly. Magnus the Red. Skeleton. Oh, I've said it out loud.
Skeleton.
Yeah, he's doing skeleton.
Skeleton Bob.
Yeah.
Why do they think he'd be good at skeleton?
Do you remember?
I can't see it.
Do you remember earlier on when I said I was a limited bud? At least I'm an honest bud.
Yeah.
So, he's doing it because apparently you have to steer with your head and stay perfectly still while hurtling down the ice.
Having one eye, not
I didn't know they steered with their heads. I assumed it was bum weight. And you're just wiggling your bum cheeks.
No, I can't believe it. Steer with your head.
Apparently so.
Because that's the one where they're on like a water slide, isn't it?
No, the skeleton is where you lie down
on a tray.
You lie down on the other tray.
Yeah.
And you're going down the
head first.
It's the head first.
Yeah, you're like a little human torpedo.
Oh no, so it won't ever be bum cheeks. It is just.
Wow.
And they've said.
Another one. How do you figure out that's what you're good at?
I'd like to have that's the one I'd like to have a go at.
I think that's the surest one that you could possibly really hurt yourself on.
Yeah, perhaps so.
Yeah.
But what a way to go.
Yeah.
They've said he's already the Red Cyclops, so his helmet design would be legendary.
We could have like a half-face helmet.
But they'd have to put holes in it for his horns.
It would help him stop. Imagine just like impale at the end.
That's very true.
Yeah.
We were watching the speed skating and this woman done a race and then proper boshed into the side at like 50 kilometres an hour.
Jeez.
And I thought, you need a better sit. She should have grown horns and just planted her head.
Yeah.
Not trying hard enough.
Did you ever go tobogganing at the Snowdome at Tamworth back in the day?
No, I went snowboarding there.
Yeah.
For tobogganing.
Yeah, see, that was always dangerous because you get to the bottom, you're meant to put your brakes on, but if you don't put your brakes on, you hit the crash mat. But then that's also the area where everyone is hopping out of their toboggans. Well, you've also got other people just hurtling down.
Yeah.
So you could very often see people get kind of shinned and catapulted.
I landed on a child off a jump and
Yeah.
I was asked to leave for the day. I've not been back since.
Lifetime ban.
No, they never said they'll never return or anything.
You limited boy, get
Yeah,
out of our
but they,
centre.
they suggested that perhaps I'd done enough snowboarding for the day.
Yeah.
And like,
Have you ever snowboarded since?
no.
That was
no.
the end of your snowboarding career.
It was, yeah. But it was staggeringly expensive for a 14 and 15-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind, I was transporting myself from Stafford to Tamworth
Yeah.
to pay, even like this is in the 90s, I think it was like 30 or 40 quid an hour or something. Like I was saving up a lot
Yeah.
because I was so enamoured with the idea of snowboarding. And then from that, I decided what I wanted to do was mountain boarding. If you're aware of
No, but I can imagine it's like rugged snowboarding.
it's like skateboarding,
Yeah.
except you've got
Oh, I do remember. It's like off-road skateboarding.
rudimentary
Yeah.
suspension, and
Yeah.
the feet were attached like
Yeah.
that. Did that, nearly died,
Yeah.
and so I just stuck to normal skateboarding for a bit. Didn't do it for years. Then bought a skateboard when I turned 40, and it was an incredible tactical error. I found out my body doesn't react the same way to falling onto concrete as it did when I was a teenager. And what I did do is provide my wife with a ready stick to beat me with whenever she wanted to mock me.
But you know what? As midlife crisis goes, that's fairly cheap.
Yeah.
What's a skateboard run? 45 quid?
No, not the one. I think I spent 120 quid.
Okay.
I could still do some tricks.
Yeah.
I was really surprised. So like it had been at least 18 years since I stood on a board. And I got on it, immediately popped an eye, and I was like, oh, that's all right. And I went for a little skate and doing pop shove-its and stuff. Couldn't kick, I was shit at kick flips before.
Yeah.
And then there's, at the park near us, they got a little railing, they got a little half pipe and what have you. That's where most of my falling was done. But I managed to do front side and back side board slide, and I was just like, oh, this is all right.
Yeah. So you need to get yourself all the pads.
No, because I went back. I walk a lot. I do a great deal of walking, but that's the height of my physical exercise. And what I found was one skate session led to 3 or 4 days of incapacitation.
Okay.
And I was just like, I'm not that interested.
Yeah.
That's quite a big segue of nonsense. Where are we?
We just done. That was Magnus the Red.
Right, and I'm going to say just the Primark this time. Lionel Johnson.
So we've got a very knightly fella, good combatant, a little bit wild.
He's a little bit wild.
A bit of a loner, so definitely not a team sport. He's got some skills, he's got some finesse, so I'm just going to go like one of the speed skiing
Yeah,
events.
that's what they've got. They've said alpine downhill skiing. He's a master of the direct overwhelming assault. He'd take the most dangerous line down the mountain and never look back.
Yeah.
Can't argue with that reasoning.
No.
Ferrus Manus. Now, if I'd wrote this list, I'd put him in skeleton just for that he's dead.
But he's dead before the opening ceremony.
No, apparently. Well, no, I'll let you have a guess.
He's a forge master.
Yes.
He gets angry a bit too quickly, loses his head in both ways. But he's good pals with Fulgrim. So he'd want to be hanging around the ice rink.
Okay.
This is where my limited knowledge of the Winter Olympics is coming.
Exactly. This is why I reached out.
Curling.
No, we've had curling.
Yeah.
But no, it's bobsleigh.
Yeah.
The Gorgon is all about mechanical power and momentum he'd likely build the sled himself to ensure peak performance, and that's his forge skills.
Okay, that makes sense.
Vulcan.
A trier, a real trier, can't be put down, going to keep coming, keep going. I'm going to go for half pipe snowboarding.
Oh, right, no, they've gone for luge.
Okay.
On the basis that it takes a certain kind of physical endurance and heart to lay on your back and rock it down an ice pipe.
Okay, so it's him versus Magnus in that.
Yeah, and no, Magnus.
Skeleton Bob. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, and they said being a perpetual is probably the only one that won't mind the occasional crash.
Yeah.
Because he just like
Pops back up.
Yeah, exactly. Corvus Corax.
Okay, so sneaky fella. See, I would have put him on the ski and shoot one.
Right.
Because then it's, you know, a bit of speed, bit of sniping finesse. That's kind of Raven Guardy to me. But I know that's already gone. So
It's one you have said.
snowboarding then, because he's pretty cool.
They put
He's got
him-
the emo fringe.
Yeah, they put him in. He's probably one of my least favourites.
Yeah.
Not for that reason.
I find the Raven Guard in general just a bit. I don't really get behind him.
Well, no, and my wife's a big listener of emo music, and as everyone knows, emo boys and men have the emo fringe, and I don't know if you've noticed, but it's not a look I go for.
Yeah, it's not in your wheelhouse, is it?
No, so I've built up a dislike of emo boys.
Yeah.
Just like
it's jealousy.
It's jealousy and insecurity. I'm man enough to say where it comes from, but it does exist.
Yeah.
And as such,
you'd attack Brandon Urie on site.
I would, but this Corvus Corax can get to fuck. Comrade Kurz.
Okay.
I will caveat by saying this is the one where it went rogue and
Proper rogue.
something.
I was gonna say, because there isn't an Olympic skinning event.
No.
Not very many of them are related to terrifying people.
No, that's true.
Other than the participants' mothers, I suppose.
Well, yeah. Well, you won't get it because it's made up.
Okay.
He does night skiing. It's called this one in.
There's no night skiing.
Night skiing, and then it's tried to make it legit by saying slalom in brackets. Not an official Olympic event, but if it were, that's not what I asked you to do, you stupid robot. I could have made up anything. But if it were, he'd be the only one who could see the gates in the pitch black. They'd have lights.
Fair enough.
No, they'd have lights. It's the Olympics. Right.
The AI's making up an event. It can turn the lights off if it wants.
All right. We've got 3/4 to go. We're
Okay.
nearly there, bro. Lorgar.
Is the one about just complaining that Daddy doesn't like me?
He's my favourite clown.
Yeah.
He legit
He's a great narrative vehicle.
Yeah.
Lorgar.
There's not, by the way, in answer to your question.
Isn't there?
No, that's not.
I haven't been watching the
Olympic.
BBC enough.
No, that's in the Commonwealth Games.
Let's go with. He's a blind faith man, so ski jump.
Yeah, freestyle skiing, aerials. He's always been one for the grand theatrical gesture and the voice of truth. He'd make every flip look like a religious
I'm actually
experience.
quite good at this.
Yeah, like he's pulling Christ airs, that kind of
He's
thing.
like, Jesus, take the wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Big E, take the wheel.
Yeah, I think Big E was Jesus. I know that's really heretical, but there we go. Anyway, Horace Lupercal. They put Horace Lupercal.
The big man.
Yeah, this one's wank. I'm sorry.
Okay.
This
Is
isn't
the
an
wanking
Olympic.
in the
This isn't an Olympic event either. You'll never get this in a million years. It's awful. This is why your job's safe.
That's really thrown me then. I don't know what to say.
He's the Olympic torchbearer. Horace Lupercal.
The most potent and capable of them.
He's walking around with a fancy lighter. He's the War Master and the Emperor's favourite. He represents the flame of the Great Crusade. He's called that in again, AI.
Yeah,
this was the penultimate one, so I think AI got
it's
bored
run out
of
of
it.
steam.
Right. Alfarius Amigon.
So 2-man sport. Is there a 2-man bob?
You're very not Bob, but it's
2-man luge skeleton.
No, mixed team relay.
Okay. Is that a skiing event?
Yeah. Are they one athlete, 2, who is currently on the ice? No one knows for sure. Which is exactly why they'd win by confusing the judges.
Fair.
Yeah.
That one's okay. So out of the 18, I think I probably correctly guessed 6.
Yeah.
Which isn't bad.
No.
Yeah, 33%. It's almost a uni pass.
That is. Now, because I'm aware that we've talked for quite a bit already, what I'm going to do first, because not everyone listens to the end, so I think it's important that we do the call to action.
Okay, so throw a frisbee in that.
No, I wanted to talk about this. That's what I told you to do last time.
Okay.
No, that wasn't.
That was just that it came to my mind.
Oh, well, no. Social media, we all know it's an ever-shifting landscape and things are changing. I looked yesterday at what needed doing to promote. This is what we need you to do to properly promote the channel. I looked yesterday, but you can see how fast things change. So it's throw a frisbee at your nan. What I also need you to do, this is going to sound silly. It will sound silly, but I've done my research. My wife used to be a social media manager in the job. I've got the credentials. You need to listen. Throw a frisbee at your nan, gently.
Depends if you like her. I mean, mine's just had a shoulder replacement, so it'd be very gentle.
I think we say gently as a blanket statement, so that we're not encouraging anything.
Yeah.
Throw a frisbee at your nan, gently, and sing a McFly song to your postman. That would be fantastic. If you could do those two things, that would help the channel.
Yeah, it really would actually.
You go on these other YouTube channels and they say, oh, click like and subscribe. That is yesterday's news.
We don't want that.
No, we do.
No subscribers here, thank you.
No, exactly. So yeah, for a frisbee at your nan,
sing a McFly song to your postman.
Yeah, and put 7 copies of the Iliad in a bag for life. That's all we need you to do.
And if you really want to piss off the algorithm, copy and paste the Iliad into the comment section.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. If you could do those.
Is there a character limit on in a comment for YouTube? Let's find out.
You could be the pioneers of this. You're going to find out.
The dog wants to know.
We're under attack again.
Yeah.
Do you see how stoically we're taking it? No fear.
Yeah. It's Rob outside the door.
Imagine if it was. I am a bit scared now, actually. All right, so we've done the call to action. That's ensured the growth of the podcast.
Totally.
Yeah. And following on from the chat last time about Horus, his questionable lettuce, and all of that, I want to talk about another.
With the questionable lettuce, my in-laws asked me to send them a link to the podcast.
Dear me.
I did tell them I don't think it's for you.
Do they really like lettuce?
Well, I just thought, it probably wasn't the most ideal episode to send them.
You could just say
spunky lettuce.
I wouldn't mind. You could just say, I know it's a bit off colour, but we tolerate him because he's so handsome. He really works for the pod. No, it won't come through on the camera how much I'm taking the piss out of myself there. I know I look like Ginger Gollum. It's fine, but
there's full ginger representation today.
It is full. Yeah, we haven't had to sully ourselves with the melanin rich people of Rob with his dark hair and what have you. No
hologram Rob over here.
Yeah. That would, if we could get a hologram of him, that would be fantastic.
Like Force Ghost Rob.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
So this time I'm going to talk about a different name, and there will be. I'm not promising there'll be none. But there's probably not going to be any mention of any bodily fluids. So
it's slightly less trigger warning than last time.
Oh yeah. This is fine. You could tell your nan this story. So I'm going to talk about Hathor Mart, who is a 1,000 Sons.
Okay.
Witch.
Is that like Hathor Bjornsson the Strongman?
Don't know about
so Icelandic name.
No, Hathor and Mart are two. Hathor is an Egyptian goddess, and as is Mart.
Okay.
Now, Hathor was a sky goddess, consort or mother, depends which one you read, with the Egyptians though, probably both, and of Horus and the sun god Ra. So it's either the wife and mother of Horus or Ra, who appear to be interchangeable at the time.
If my memory is correct, Hathor Mart is either a son of Horus or a word bearer.
No, he's 1,000 Sons.
Oh, I'm completely wrong then.
Now, I'm going to talk more about Hathor because Mart doesn't really come into it, but Hathor, she had two sides, a beneficent one and a vengeful, protective one. Her beneficent side represented beauty, music, dance, joy, love, sexuality and maternal care. The protective and vengeful side manifested when she was one of the goddesses to act as the eye of Ra, who was Ra's feminine counterpoint.
Okay.
In his early career, Hathor Mart seconded to the Emperor's children, and Fulgrin himself made him an oath of moment because he was apparently Hathor Mart had caught the Phoenicians' eye because of his
He had a little flirt.
but because of his perfectly moulded features. And when you go back to the goddess Hathor, and a beneficent side represents beauty, joy and love and all of that.
So we're saying this Thousand Sun has a lot of feminine wiles.
Well, no, yeah, and he's a pretty boy.
Yeah.
So,
and like we say, if they're all Ken dolls,
yeah,
you just got to go on.
Yeah, exactly. It's just all look. Yeah. So that's one way in which the two are linked.
Okay.
The other way in which they're linked is the goddess Hathor is often depicted as a cow, which, if you'll remember, Hathor Mart is all the way through the Horus Heresy books.
Well, I thought he was a word bearer,
no,
so I don't really remember.
In a lot of Dan Abnett books, he constantly refers to his wet bovine growl.
Okay, I'll take your word.
No, that's just a joke about because of the wet leopard growl.
Okay.
But yeah, that's how they're similar. Very beautiful. Both got udders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All Thousand Sons do.
Yeah, they all. Yeah.
Little known fact.
Yeah. Games Workshop doesn't want you to know that.
Yeah.
They don't want you to know that because you'll be after Thousand Sons milk next, you degenerates. And so ends today's. I told
I love that lovely little bit of history. A lot safer.
Yes, a lot safer. I mean, we talked about teats a little bit, but when don't we?
Exactly. Yeah. Standard conversation. You get in a car, tits.
I don't think I've got us cancelled this week.
No, there was a moment where I said cancelled because we'd said something.
Yeah.
But I don't think it'll matter.
Yeah, just if you're offended, don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It wasn't meant to offend.
No, only amuse.
That's the spirit of it. So anyway, next time we'll probably be back to the three of us.
Yes.
It's half term here in the UK, so Rob was looking after his spawn. Yeah, so next time we'll either continue with the Necromundan history, or talk about something completely different, because there is no grand plan here. We just decide a few days before.
Well, there's been a bit of movement in 40k, hasn't there?
Yeah, there's been that character creation thing that I'd like to have a look at.
Talk about more about the AdMech. I've had
a nice one. Yeah, we can have a look at those.
I watched Mr. Tactics, Auspex Tactics video recently, and he was talking about, which you should all go and watch. He was talking about things that he put a post out saying what you need to fix in 40k when you move to the next edition.
Are you saying he copied our video?
No, because his was cohesive and complete, and it wasn't just the bitter whinings of a perennial loser at 40k telling you why the game was shit.
Interesting fact about him though, his name officially changed by default to Mr. Auspex Tactics.
That's good.
Again, you heard it here first.
Yeah, definitely. I've called him Mr. Tactics since I've met him. So.
And he always wears a fedora.
You're being very unkind to the poor man.
No, he's a lovely man.
He doesn't always.
He doesn't always wear a fedora.
No.
And his name isn't actually Auspex Tactics.
Oh no, that bit is true.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want you writing to him.
No.
I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah. Anyway, it's goodbye from me.
Cheerio.
Goodbye from Rob.
Sorted.